Chosen one, listen carefully. You did not arrive here by coincidence. Heaven has scheduled this encounter with you. September 28 is not just a date, it is an appointed hour when something shifts in your favor. You have sensed it, the stirring in your spirit, the unexplainable anticipation, the weight of destiny pressing closer. You know what it feels like to wait, to endure seasons where prayers seem unanswered, where silence becomes your companion, where others run ahead while you are left behind. Yet even in the shadows, you carried a knowing. I was made for more. That knowing is not pride, it is prophecy. I remember the story of a man who walked through such a season. He was overlooked in his workplace, ignored in his family, and even mocked for holding on to his faith. For years he labored without recognition, but when the appointed time came, favor located him so suddenly that even those who mocked were forced to acknowledge God's hand on his life. That story could be yours, for the transfer is coming with the same suddenness. Think of your life as a lamp that has been flickering on low oil. The flame has survived storms, but it has been weak. September 28 is the day a fresh jar of oil is poured, and your flame will not only burn steady, it will burn brighter than ever before. The Word of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain in season, and to bless all the work of your hands." This is more than poetry, it is a divine contract. The heavens are not closed to you. The storehouse is opening. The transfer is rain coming to your land, not someone else's. You may wonder, why now? Why me? Because preparation has met timing. Every test you endured was not wasted. It became proof of your endurance. Oil is not pressed without crushing. Gold is not purified without fire. And you have endured both. That is why you are the one chosen to receive what is coming. But take caution. When heaven announces increase, darkness whispers sabotage. Already distractions have tried to invade your peace, strange heaviness, sudden discouragement, even whispers of giving up. That is not coincidence, it is resistance. Yet here you are, awake and alert, hearing this call. Chosen one, this is your chance to respond. Declare agreement right now by commenting 77 below. This is not about numbers on a screen, it is a prophetic mark of alignment. You are saying, yes, I receive what heaven has prepared. Oh, and if this word ignites your spirit, don't hold it in. Others need this reminder too. Share it, like it, subscribe so you don't miss the coming words tied to this season. Not because of me, but because we are walking through a window of time too critical to ignore. Imagine it, a sealed envelope in heaven with your name written across it. For years it sat unopened, but today, angels are sent to deliver it. By the time September 28 comes, the seal will break. What is inside will flow into your life in ways you could never manufacture. You have always felt different. And that difference was not rejection, it was preservation. Now it becomes confirmation. The page of your story is turning. And this next chapter begins with a transfer. Receive it. Step into it. And prepare to testify of it. And remember this, a transfer is never only about possessions, it is about positioning. You are being positioned to walk in rooms you once only dreamed of. The same way Joseph was lifted from the prison to the palace in one day, so shall your elevation feel sudden. What seems delayed has only been preserved for the right moment. September 28 is not an ordinary turning of the calendar. It is the sound of heaven's clock striking your hour. Guard your heart in these days. Do not allow bitterness, distraction, or unbelief to snatch the seed. Stay anchored in prayer, in worship, in quiet trust. Even a small act of faith, lifting your hands when no one is watching, whispering a prayer of surrender, becomes a signal to heaven, I am ready. You do not need to force this. You only need to remain open. The transfer is God's doing, and it will not fail. So take this word and let it stir you. Speak it aloud over your home. Write it where your eyes can see it. Share it with someone you know is weary. And as you do, remember the number 77, a prophetic sign of double completion. Double portion. Comment it boldly. And then watch as heaven honors your declaration. Your story is shifting. Your season is changing. And nothing will be able to reverse it. Chosen one. This call is personal. It is not a vague announcement floating through the air. It is a whisper carrying your name. Think back to moments when you felt overlooked, unseen, or forgotten. Others might have received recognition, promotions, or breakthroughs while you stood waiting. Yet through it all, you carried a sense that somehow you were marked for something beyond the ordinary. That feeling is not illusion, it is revelation. There is a reason heaven has aligned this season for you. You were not created to blend in or to vanish into the background, even in your quietest hours. Destiny has been tugging at your spirit. Have you noticed how certain places never seemed to fit? How conversations felt empty? As though you were hearing a language that wasn't yours. That is because your assignment was never to settle there. You were being drawn out, separated, and prepared. Let me paint this through a story. A young man once walked among his peers, and though he dressed like them, laughed like them, and even worked alongside them, he could never shake the restlessness inside. He tried to silence it, to convince himself he was just like everyone else. But deep down, he knew something waited for him. When the day of his calling arrived, it startled even him. Doors swung open. Opportunities found him. And suddenly, the years of waiting made sense. What felt like rejection was really redirection. His name was known, not by men, but by heaven. That same restlessness has lived in you. Think of it like a compass hidden inside your chest. While others can walk in circles without noticing, you cannot. Even when you tried to wander off path, the pull kept steering you back. Sometimes it frustrated you. Iun angered you. But now you can see it was not control, it was care. A father never lets his child run into traffic. In the same way, God never allowed you to stay in places that could swallow your destiny. And this is why the transfer is not random. It is not a lottery win or a lucky break. It is a response to the mark you carry. It is a release timed for the one who was preserved. Many may hear these words, but not all will feel them as you do. That burning in your spirit as you listen, that is confirmation. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. This is the essence of why the call feels so personal. You are being asked to lean into trust, to stop trying to explain everything with human logic, and to surrender to the leading that has always been guiding you. Your crooked paths are being straightened, your delays redeemed. Look back over your journey. Consider how many times you should have been destroyed, and yet you were spared. Consider the near accidents, the betrayals that did not break you, the closed doors that hurt, but later proved to be protection. Those were not coincidences. They were signposts declaring, you are not ordinary. You are chosen. Like a seed hidden in the soil. Your process has been invisible to many. They only saw the dirt covering you, not the roots forming beneath. They only saw the silence, not the stretching. And soon, they will see what heaven has always seen. Life breaking forth from the ground. Unstoppable. Indéniable. Chosen one. The voice that calls you now is the same voice that called Abraham out of his homeland. The same voice that whispered to Samuel in the night. The same voice that stood with Paul in prison. It is personal. It is precise. And it is persistent. You cannot run from it, because it knows your name. This is not the moment to doubt yourself. This is the moment to remember that even when you felt abandoned, you were actually being escorted. Even when you thought silence meant absence, it meant préparation. You were never walking alone. The personal call is proof of that. So let this truth settle deep. You are not forgotten, not misplaced, not delayed beyond repair. The transfer on September 28 is not an event happening around you, it is happening for you. Your name is written on it, and when it arrives, you will finally understand why the waiting was so long, and why the call has always been so personal. Chosen one. The weight you carry has never been light. You know the invisible load, the sleepless nights when your pillow caught every tear, the mornings when you put on a smile, though your heart was bruised. People see fragments of your story, but they do not see the whole battle. They call you strong, not knowing how many times you nearly gave up. There is a strange irony about being chosen. It means carrying more than others, enduring tests others will never face. It means being misunderstood, sometimes even by those closest to you. And yet, what they call weakness is really evidence of the extra weight heaven trusted you to hold. You were never fragile, you were forged. I once heard the story of a woman who endured betrayal from her closest friend. The pain nearly shattered her. But instead of letting bitterness rot her soul, she took the wound to God. For years it felt like unanswered prayer. But when her appointed time came, the very betrayal became the soil for her blessing. Out of heartbreak, she built a ministry of healing. Out of ashes, beauty was born. Her weight became her weapon. Chosen one. Your burdens are not wasted. They are like heavy stones placed into the foundation of a house. Without them, the structure would collapse. With them, the house can stand storms. You have been carrying not only for yourself, but for those who will stand on the ground you secure. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 13. I will turn their mourning into gladness. I will give them comfort and joy instead of sorrow. This is not a vague comfort. It is a divine exchange. Sorrow is not the final word. The weight you carry is about to shift into joy. The heaviness will become testimony. Now, I want you to pause here and respond with these 3 words. Joy replaces sorrow. And why these words? Because they declare the very promise of God. When you type it, You are agreeing with heaven's decree that every heavy burden, every tear, every scar is being rewritten into a story of gladness. It is your way of saying, "My pain will not define me. Joy will." Look at your journey again. Do you see how the times you thought you were breaking were really the times you were being built? Do you see how the betrayals exposed false alliances, leaving room for true covenant? The very things that threatened to bury you became the soil where roots dug deeper. Without that weight, you would not be as strong, as wise, or as discerning as you are now. Think of yourself as a tree in a storm. The wind may bend your branches, strip your leaves, even snap a few limbs. But the storm forces your roots to grow deeper. The unseen part of you becomes unshakable. That is what your trials have been doing. They were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to anchor you. Chosen one. Hear this clearly. Your weight has been measured, your endurance tested, and your resilience proven. This is why heaven trusts you with what is coming. Not everyone could have carried what you carried, but you did. You bent, but you did not break. You wept, but you did not quit. That is why you are still standing. And that is why the transfer is drawn to you. So lift your head, even if your shoulders still ache. The weight you carried will soon be exchanged for joy you cannot measure. And when others ask how you endured, you will answer with confidence, "The weight was heavy, but the grace was greater." Know and understand this. Chosen one, when you wrote, "Joy replaces sorrow," you were not typing empty words. You were making a declaration that echoes in the spiritual realm. Those 3 words are a prophecy spoken over your own life. They mean that every night of mourning has an expiration date. They mean that even the deepest wounds are becoming vessels of healing. This is not only about you. The people connected to your journey will taste the fruit of your resilience because you carried the weight. Others will be able to walk lighter. Your endurance becomes their inheritance. When they see you rise from the ashes, they will realize hope is still alive for them. 2. So when the transfer arrives, remember this moment. Remember the heaviness, the tears, the nights of questioning, because when joy bursts forth, you will look back and understand none of it was wasted. Every sorrow was seed, and every seed has now become harvest. Chosen one, you must understand the nature of transfers. This is not merely a financial shift. Though provision is often a visible sign, a divine transfer is deeper. It is the rearrangement of spiritual ownership, the shifting of unseen resources, the exchange of weight from one set of hands to another. It is when heaven decides, this belongs no longer to them, it belongs to you. Throughout history, transfers have been the way God moved his people into new seasons. When Israel left Egypt, they did not leave empty-handed. What had once been the wealth of their oppressors was placed into their arms. That was more than payment for slavery. It was proof that God had the final word. In the same way, what has been held back from you, what has been kept out of your reach, is preparing to change hands. But transfers are not random. They are appointed. They arrive at the intersection of preparation and timing. You cannot demand them early, nor can the enemy delay them beyond God's decree. Think of a transfer as a key sliding into a lock. The moment the grooves align, the door opens. Until then, it remains shut. Your life has been in that aligning process. And September 28 marks the turn of the key. A transfer can come in many forms. For some, it is restoration of finances, long stolen. For others, it is peace after years of torment. For another, it may be authority to step into rooms where their voice once held no weight. It could even be the lifting of invisible chains, where shame and fear no longer control the narrative. Whatever shape it takes, the essence is the same. Something once withheld is released. Consider how often transfers appear in Scripture. Joshua stepped into Moses' place, receiving not only leadership, but the spirit of wisdom that guided a nation. Elisha received Eliah's mantle, a double portion that enabled him to accomplish what his mentor began. Even the disciples experienced a transfer at Pentecost, when the Spirit that had rested on Christ filled their very beings. Each moment marked a shift, not just for individuals, but for generations after them. According to the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 5, not that we are competent in ourselves to claim anything for ourselves, but our competence comes from God. This is what anchors every transfer. It is not about deserving or earning in human terms. It is about heaven declaring, now is the time. It is competence, strength, and authority that flows not from effort alone, but from the hand of God. To grasp the nature of a transfer, you must see beyond the visible. Think of a chessboard. At first, moves may look small, almost insignificant. A single piece shifts here, another there. But when the board is studied closely, every move is part of a strategy leading to a final checkmate. In the same way, the small shifts in your life, the closed door, the sudden meeting, the delayed answer were not random. They were the movements setting up the transfer. And there is something else. A transfer always comes with responsibility. To receive means to steward. To be trusted with increase means to guard it, to grow it, to use it wisely. That is why your waiting season mattered. It built the maturity to handle what is coming. Imagine if the wealth of Egypt had been placed in Israel's hands. Too early they would have squandered it in fear or idolatry. But when the right time came, they carried it as evidence of God's justice. Chosen one. Pause and reflect. What has been shifting around you lately? Have you noticed doors closing not out of punishment but protection? Have you sensed an unusual peace? Even when circumstances seemed unstable, those are indicators. They signal that the atmosphere is changing, that the unseen ledger is being rewritten. Think of yourself as standing on the shore while the tide is far out. At first, the ground looks dry and empty, but suddenly, without warning, the tide returns, carrying treasures from the deep and filling the land again. That is what a transfer feels like, an unstoppable returning tide, bringing what you could not reach on your own. The nature of transfers is this: they are not earned like wages. They are inherited like promises. They are not snatched by striving, but released by timing. They do not flow by coincidence, but by covenant. And when they arrive, they shift not only your circumstances, but your identity. So let this truth settle in your heart. You are not chasing luck. You are aligning with timing. The transfer is not fragile, it is certain. And when it lands, it will carry the unmistakable signature of heaven. Chosen one. When heaven prepares to release a transfer, it does not leave you without guidance. There are always signs, gentle yet unmistakable. that reveal the nearness of breakthrough. Some are whispers inside your spirit dreams that seem too vivid to dismiss. A sense of expectancy that clings to you, even when nothing seems to change on the outside. Others appear in your daily life, unexpected conversations, doors that close abruptly, or divine connections that seem to arrive out of nowhere. Think of these signs like the first drops of rain before a storm. The sky may still look partly clear, but the drops tell you something greater is coming. You do not see the full downpour yet, but you know the atmosphere has shifted. That is what you are experiencing now. The subtle changes, the spiritual nudges, even the restlessness in your heart, all are signals that the transfer is drawing near. There was once a man who felt everything in his life unravel at the same time. Friends drifted, work slowed, and even his prayers felt heavy. At first, he thought he was under attack. But when the dust settled, he realized those very losses made room for what was about to arrive. The job that ended cleared space for a calling he never dared to pursue. The friend who walked away made space for a covenant relationship that blessed his family for years. What felt like subtraction was actually preparation for multiplication. Chosen one, do not despise the signs. They may appear small, even uncomfortable, but they are confirmations. The more you notice them, the more prepared you will be. Your sensitivity to these shifts is part of your readiness. The ancient words recorded in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3 say, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. It hastens toward the goal and it will not fail. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." Lynn, this verse breathes reassurance. The appointed time does not collapse under pressure. It cannot be rushed by impatience or stopped by resistance. It arrives exactly when heaven commands it, and that command is already echoing over your life. Chosen one. Before I continue, let me speak heart to heart. These messages you are receiving are not just words. They are like lanterns placed along a dark path. If they have stirred you, strengthened you, or reminded you of your value, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. By doing so, you are not simply supporting content, you are helping to keep the lanterns burning so that someone else, walking through their midnight, can find the same light. And regarding giving, hear me clearly, donation is never a condition. It is never demanded. It is an act as free as pouring a single drop of water into a river already flowing. The river does not need your drop to exist. But when you release it, you become part of its current. Think of it like this. Your donation is oil for the lamp, and also a bridge laid across a dark river. Someone you will never meet may walk across that bridge because of you. Even the smallest gift is not forgotten. Every flame you help fuel becomes a torch for someone else. Every bridge you help build becomes a crossing for another soul. So, hear this clearly. If your heart feels moved, you are free to donate. As a willing partner, in light, not from pressure, not from guilt, but from a place of overflow, because giving has always been another way of declaring, I choose to keep the light alive. End of. Now, return to the signs. Have you noticed how your dreams lately feel sharper, almost carrying hidden messages? Have you felt moments where peace covers you suddenly, even while chaos swirls? These are signals. They whisper, get ready. Heaven does not shout every instruction. Often, it stirs. Those stirrings are your preparation. Chosen one. I want you to look at your life as a canvas. The brushstrokes may look random, up-close dark streaks, sharp lines, even blank spaces, but step back, and you will see the masterpiece forming. The signs are the brushstrokes. They may not make sense individually, but together they reveal the bigger picture. So watch closely in these days. Pay attention to unusual encounters, to scripture that leaps off the page, to inner convictions that tug at your heart. These are the raindrops before the storm, the brushstrokes before the masterpiece, the lanterns lighting your path. And as you notice them, remember, heaven is already moving. The transfer is not an idea, it is an appointed reality. You are living in the days just before fulfillment, and the signs are your assurance. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The sky is shifting. The drops are falling. The transfer is closer than you think. Chosen one, many of the blessings assigned to your life have been delayed, not denied, but delayed. This is one of the most painful realities of walking in faith, to know that something belongs to you, yet to watch time stretch on without it arriving. You prayed, you fasted, you believed, and still the breakthrough seemed to stand on the horizon, never moving closer. But hear me, there is a reason for every delay, and there is a way to break the loop. Delays are not always punishment. Often, they are protection. A gift too early can destroy the one who receives it. Imagine placing a sword in the hand of a child. The weapon itself is not evil, but the timing is dangerous. In the same way, heaven sometimes holds back what is yours until your spirit, your character, and your faith are ready to hold it without collapsing. Yet, there are also delays born of resistance. The adversary knows he cannot cancel the promises of God, but he tries to slow them down. He weaves distractions, sends voices of doubt, stirs weariness in your soul. He wants you to believe that because the blessing is late, it is lost. That is the loop you must break. The Word of God reminds us in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Oh, chosen one, perseverance is not passive. It is active endurance. The decision to keep standing, keep trusting, keep pressing, even when nothing around you seems to shift. That is the key to breaking the cycle. The enemy thrives when you surrender. Heaven moves when you endure. Let me tell you a story. A man once labored on barren ground for 7 years. He sowed seed faithfully, yet each season seemed to yield only thorns. Neighbors mocked him, saying he was cursed, that his land would never bear fruit. He nearly gave up until the 8th year came. Suddenly, rain fell in abundance, and the ground produced a harvest so vast it fed not only his family, but his entire village. The delay was real, but so was the breakthrough. And the moment it came, the years of waiting seemed like a blink compared to the abundance that followed. Chosen one, your delay has an expiration date. You cannot live in the loop forever. The season of postponement is ending, and the transfer cannot be held back any longer. September 28 is not just a marker of time, it is heaven's declaration that the cycle is broken. But here is your part. You must choose agreement. Every delay resisted your persistence. Now, you resist the delay by declaring alignment. I want you to comment these 3 numbers: 333. Why 333? Because it symbolizes complete divine alignment, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit moving as one. When you type it, you are saying, "My life comes into harmony with heaven's perfect timing." I picture a bow being pulled back. The string stretches, the tension builds, and it seems as though nothing is happening. But the longer the pull, the further the arrow will fly when released. Your delay has been the pull. The release will send you further than you could have imagined. Chosen one, I urge you, do not despise the waiting. It was not wasted time, it was preparation ground. The loop was never your prison, it was your proving place. But now, the sound of snapping chains echoes in the spirit. The loop is broken. The arrow is released. The harvest is ready. Declare it boldly. Write it clearly. 333. Let the heavens and the earth bear witness. The cycle ends here, and a new chapter begins. And know this, every 333 is like planting a banner in the ground. It marks territory reclaimed, a testimony that delay is defeated and divine timing has taken its place. And when you declare 333, you are not only speaking over your own life, you are joining a chorus of chosen ones around the world who also refuse to remain trapped in delay. Each comment becomes like a stone dropped into a vast river. The ripples spread far beyond where it lands. It means chains are breaking, not just for you, but for families, communities, and generations connected to your story. Understand this clearly. Heaven does not ignore faith made visible. When you act, you are showing that you believe what God has already spoken. 333 is not just a number, it is a testimony, a key, and a seal. It says, the loop is over, and the new season begins now. Chosen one. The question that lingers in every heart at the threshold of breakthrough is this: what is the price of readiness? Many desire the transfer, but few are willing to pay the hidden cost that accompanies it. The blessing is free in origin, but it is costly in stewardship. Heaven does not release weight without first ensuring the vessel can carry it. Readiness is not about perfection. It is about obedience. It is the willingness to align when God whispers, even if it interrupts your comfort. It is about surrendering pride, letting go of fear, and embracing the unknown with trust. Some are kept from their transfer, not because they are unworthy, but because they resist this cost. Think of Noah. The call on his life was not to achieve greatness by human standards, but to obey an impossible command: build an ark when there was no rain. The price of his readiness was ridicule from neighbors, years of back-breaking work, and relentless faith in something unseen. Yet when the flood came, only Noah and his household were preserved. His obedience became the vessel for salvation. Chosen one, readiness in your life may not look like building an ark, but it does involve building something unseen. Perhaps it is building patience when all you want is speed. Perhaps it is building integrity when compromise would be easier. Perhaps it is building prayer when distraction screams louder. These quiet choices are not wasted. They are the price that aligns you for the transfer. The writings in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1 declare, "Offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." And notice the language, living sacrifice. This is not about one dramatic moment of surrender. It is about daily surrender, daily obedience, daily choosing to honor God even when no one applauds. That is the essence of readiness. I once heard the story of a young leader who prayed fervently for God to expand his influence. He longed for platforms and opportunities, but instead of doors opening, his life entered a season of hiddenness. Years passed in obscurity. It felt like delay, even rejection. But when the time finally came, he realized the hidden years were not wasted. They had shaped his character, trained his discipline, and purified his motives. Without that hidden cost, the blessing would have crushed him. Readiness is often misunderstood because it feels like loss. You let go of relationships that no longer align. You sacrifice habits that drain your focus. You walk away from comforts that could numb your spirit. But in truth, every cost is an investment. You are not losing, you are sowing. And the harvest is far greater than what you release. Think of a runner at the starting line. Muscles taut, heart racing, body ready. The training was the price. The early mornings, the painful stretches, the sweat poured into unseen hours. Those were the hidden costs that prepared him to run. When the race begins, he does not question if he is ready. He knows, because he paid the price. Chosen one. Ask yourself, what is the cost you are being asked to carry right now? Is it patience? Is it forgiveness? Is it releasing control? Do not shy away from it. For every cost carried now becomes capacity gained. Later, readiness also requires courage. Obedience often leads you to paths where the ground seems uncertain. Abraham left his homeland, not knowing where he was going. Esther risked her life by approaching the king. Paul endured chains for the sake of the gospel. Each of them paid a price in order to receive a portion of God's plan. None of them regretted it. You too are standing at such a threshold. The price you pay in this season is shaping the vessel that will hold your transfer. Do not despise it. Do not compare your journey to another's. What feels heavy today will prove to be the very strength you need tomorrow. So let this truth sink deeply into you. The transfer is free in grace, but costly in readiness. Grace opens the door. Obedience keeps you standing inside. The cost is not punishment, it is preparation. Chosen one. The price of readiness is not to burden you, but to bless you. It ensures that when heaven places more in your hands, you will not drop it. It builds within you a resilience that cannot be shaken and a faith that cannot be stolen. Lift your eyes. Then, the cost you carry today is proof that heaven trusts you with tomorrow. You are being made ready, and nothing in your obedience will be wasted. Chosen one. Every divine transfer attracts opposition. The moment heaven declares increase, the adversary begins to craft countermoves. It is not a sign of failure. It is a confirmation of your value. No thief breaks into an empty house, and no enemy fights a battle where nothing is at stake. The very resistance you feel is evidence that what you carry matters. But these countermoves are rarely obvious. They do not always arrive in the form of direct attacks. More often, they appear as subtle diversions, small compromises, or whispers designed to pull your attention away from your path. The adversary knows that if he cannot stop your blessing, he will attempt to distract you until you miss it. Think of Samson. His strength was unmatched. Yet his vulnerability was not in the battlefield, but in his personal decisions. The enemy did not defeat him with armies, but with distraction, through a voice that wore down his resolve. Chosen one. Your greatest battles are often not external, but internal. Guard your focus, for the enemy's countermove is designed to scatter it. One of the enemy's most common strategies is discouragement. Just as the breakthrough nears, an unusual heaviness tries to settle over your spirit. Suddenly, you feel weary for no reason, doubtful without evidence, restless without cause. This is not coincidence, it is opposition. Darkness tries to convince you that you are too tired to continue, that perhaps the promise was an illusion. Yet if you discern it, you will see it for what it is, a last attempt to drain your endurance before the finish line. The prophet Nahum recorded these words in chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in him. And this is your anchor in the face of countermoves. God does not leave you vulnerable. Every trap is seen, every whisper overheard, every distraction discerned. He is your refuge, your shelter, your protection when schemes rise against you. Another countermove is deception. The enemy often cloaks lies in fragments of truth. He may use familiar voices, even people you trust, to plant seeds of doubt. He did this in Eden, twisting God's words just enough to confuse. Chosen one, sharpen your discernment. Measure every word, every thought, against the truth of God's promises. What does not align must be rejected, no matter how convincing it sounds. Consider the image of a ship navigating treacherous waters. The rocks beneath the surface are not visible, but they are deadly. A wise captain keeps his eyes on the map and compass, not on the deceptive calm of the waves. You too must keep your eyes fixed, not on appearances, but on the guidance of God's word. Fear is yet another countermove. Fear paralyzes, whispering that you are unprepared, unworthy, incapable. It tries to freeze your steps just when courage is needed most. But fear is always a liar. Its only power is the power you give it. Remember, even the giants in Canaan shrank the courage of Israel, not by defeating them, but by intimidating them. Chosen one, your way through these countermoves is not by your own strength alone, but by awareness and surrender. You must learn to pause, to discern, to ask, is this the voice of truth, or is this a distraction? Each time you identify a countermove, its power diminishes. Do not be surprised if relationships shift in this season. Sometimes the countermove comes through people who cannot go where you are going. Their departure may hurt, but it is not always a loss. It can be protection, ensuring that only covenant partners remain when the transfer arrives. And do not be alarmed by sudden chaos. Storms often precede arrival. Ships sailing into harbor sometimes meet rougher waters just before reaching shore. That turbulence is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of nearness. Chosen one, you are not defenseless. Your focus, your discernment, your trust in God are weapons sharper than any scheme. The countermove may come, but it cannot override the decree of heaven. It can distract, delay, discourage, but it cannot destroy. So stand steady, keep your gaze fixed, recognize the subtle diversions, and refuse to surrender your ground. The very fact that countermoves surround you now is proof that the transfer is near. The enemy only fights hardest when the breakthrough is closest. Let this bring you peace, The countermove may roar, but heaven's decree is louder. What has been promised cannot be revoked. You are covered, you are guarded, and you are still moving toward the inheritance prepared for you. Chosen one. There is a power in confession that many overlook. It is not about repeating empty words or religious rituals. Confession is the unlocking of the heart, the opening of the mouth to align with what heaven has already spoken. When you confess, you are not informing God of something He does not know. You are positioning yourself to agree with His truth and silence the lies that have tried to chain you. Your life has carried shadows of guilt, shame, and silence. You have kept secrets buried because you feared exposure. You have hidden tears because you thought they made you weak. But heaven does not call you to hide. It calls you to release. The very weight you conceal is the weight that steals your breath. Confession breaks it. Think of David. He carried the burden of hidden sin, and it ate at his strength until he could no longer bear it. Yet when he opened his mouth and confessed, he found mercy that lifted him higher than before. His story teaches us that silence keeps you bound, but confession sets you free. The Apostle John writes in his first letter, chapter 1, verse 9, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just, and will forgive our sins, and purify us from all unrighteousness. Chosen one. This is not about condemnation, it is about cleansing. Confession is the act of stepping into light, leaving behind the shadows that once whispered, shame. It is the doorway through which renewal enters. Now, I invite you to respond with these 3 words, chains fall now. Now, why this phrase? Because it embodies the truth of confession. When you speak it, you are declaring that hidden shame has no more hold on you. You are testifying that every silent weight, every locked door, every chain that tried to keep you bound is breaking. Chains fall now is not just a comment, it is an act of spiritual warfare, a choice to stand free. Consider this image. A prisoner sits in a cell with the key already hanging on the wall. The chains are locked, but the release has always been available. The prisoner only needs to take the key, insert it, and walk out. Confession is that key. It is not earning freedom, it is stepping into freedom that has been waiting for you all along. Confession also strengthens identity. When you open your mouth and declare truth, you remind your spirit of who you are, not a captive, but a child of God, not a mistake, but a miracle in process. The enemy thrives in secrecy, but he is silenced in confession. Do not think confession must always be public or loud. Sometimes it is whispered in prayer. Sometimes it is written in a journal. Sometimes it is spoken to a trusted friend. The form is less important than the release. What matters is that the silence breaks. Chosen one. Confession does not weaken you, it transforms you. It does not reduce your dignity, it restores it. You are not defined by what you release, you are defined by the God who receives you. So let these words remain in your heart and on your lips. Chains fall now. Each time you speak them, imagine another lock snapping open, another weight falling to the ground, another shadow fleeing from the light. That is the power of confession. It sets you free, and it keeps you free. And when you type, chains fall now, understand that it is not just a phrase, it is a declaration that travels beyond the screen, in the unseen realm. Angels hear it. Darkness trembles at it. and your own soul awakens to it. Those words are more than syllables. They are hammers, striking the locks that have bound you. Confession is not weakness, it is warfare. It is the moment when you stop cooperating with silence and begin cooperating with truth. Every time you confess, you disarm the enemy who thrives in secrecy. The devil has always hidden in shadows. But when you speak, you drag him into the light. And in the light, he has no power. Think of it this way. Confession is like opening a window in a dark room. At first, the air feels heavy, suffocating, and stagnant. But the moment you push the window wide, fresh air flows in and light floods the space. Nothing changed about the room itself. What changed was its atmosphere. That is what happens in your spirit when you confess. Light and air replace darkness and suffocation. So do not hesitate. Let the words settle in you. Let them roll off your lips. And let your spirit embrace their truth. Chains fall now is not only your comment today, it is your new reality. Chosen one. Every great transfer has always been marked by a moment of alignment, an act that draws heaven and earth together in a visible way. September 28 is not simply a date, it is a threshold. And as with every threshold, there is a way to cross it with honor and intention. This is what I call the transfer ritual, not ritual in the sense of empty repetition, but in the sense of sacred preparation, a deliberate step into what God has already prepared. Think of it as a bride preparing before the wedding. The covenant is already promised, but the preparation honors the moment. Or imagine a soldier sharpening his sword before the battle, not because the outcome is uncertain, but because readiness brings dignity. That is what the ritual represents, not earning, not striving, but stepping forward with reverence. For you, this ritual is simple. It begins with silence, turning off the noise for a few minutes, letting distractions fall away. In that silence, whisper your surrender. Lord, I am ready. Then take one action that marks the moment. It could be writing down your prayers, lighting a candle, kneeling in your room. The form is not as important as the posture. What matters is that your body and spirit agree. I choose to be present for what you are releasing. 1. The Word of God affirms this in Joshua, chapter 3, verse 5. Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you. Do you see it? Consecration always precedes the amazing. Preparation always precedes the transfer. This ritual is not about controlling the outcome. It is about showing heaven you are ready to receive it. Now let me speak to your heart about something else. These words, you are hearing the stories, the scriptures, the imagery they are, lanterns lit along your path. If these lanterns have helped you see more clearly, if they have touched your spirit, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. By doing so, you are not simply supporting content, you are adding another flame to this row of lanterns. Every click is like placing another light in the darkness, guiding someone else who might otherwise stumble. And about giving, let me be honest. Donation is never demanded, never a price tag. It is an invitation, like offering a cup of water to a traveler who carries light for others. Your gift is not buying the light, it is fueling the lamp. It is not a transaction, it is a participation. Picture a river. It flows strong, whether or not you add to it. But when you pour your drop into that river, It mingles with the current and becomes part of something larger than itself. That is what your donation is, a drop merging into the current of hope, carrying life far beyond your sight. Or think of it like planting a tree. You may not sit under its shade today, but countless others will. Each seed planted becomes a shelter, a testimony that generosity never dies. Your giving becomes a tree in the forest of light, standing tall long after the moment has passed. So hear this gently. If your heart feels moved, you are free to donate. As a willing partner in light, not by compulsion, not as a condition, but as a beautiful act of faith that multiplies beyond your sight. Chosen one, back to the ritual, after your silence, after your surrender, after your act of consecration, I encourage you to mark it with words. Speak them aloud, even if softly. I am ready for the transfer. Let heaven hear it. Let your own soul hear it. Words are not empty, they are creative. They shape the atmosphere around you and prepare the soil for what is being planted. This ritual does not need to be grand. Sometimes the most powerful moments are the simplest: a whispered prayer in a quiet room, a candle flickering in the dark, a page in your journal soaked with tears. These are the sacred acts that heaven treasures. And when September 28 comes, you will know you are not walking in unprepared. You will know you stood ready, that you honored the moment, that you opened your hands fully. That readiness itself is part of the transfer. Chosen one. The ritual is not about performance, it is about posture. It is the posture of a heart that says, I am not distracted. I am not resisting. I am not afraid. I am ready. That heart always receives. So prepare with reverence. Light the lanterns. Whisper your surrender. And step forward into the transfer with the dignity of one who knows, heaven has called my name, and I am ready to cross. Chosen one. There is a mystery in numbers, symbols, and responses. Heaven has always spoken not only through words, but also through signs woven into creation itself. The stars mark seasons, rivers carve boundaries, and numbers often echo patterns of divine order. When you respond to a word with a number, you are not merely typing digits, you are joining in that language of alignment. Think of it this way. When a king seals a decree, he uses a mark that represents his authority. The seal itself may be simple, but its meaning is profound. In the same way, when you declare or respond with a prophetic number, you are placing a seal on the word you have received. It is your way of saying, I agree with this decree. Let it be established in my life. Although, throughout Scripture, numbers often carry weight beyond their arithmetic value, 7 marked completion. 12 carried the idea of governance. 40 spoke of testing and preparation. Each one was more than a figure. It was a reminder of a rhythm heaven had established on earth. When you step into that rhythm, you place yourself in harmony with what God is already doing. According to the book of James, chapter 1, verse 17, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. Lynn, this is why your responses matter. They are not bribes for blessing, nor formulas to control God. Instead, they are acknowledgments that every good gift originates in Him, and your part is to recognize and align with that flow. Consider the story of Gideon. Unsure of his calling, He sought confirmation through signs, the fleece wet with dew one night, dry the next. Those signs did not create God's plan. They confirmed it to Gideon's heart. Likewise, prophetic responses do not force heaven's hand. They strengthen your spirit, giving you courage to stand in what is already spoken. Think of yourself as a musician joining a great orchestra. The conductor sets the tempo. The melody is already written. Your choice to play in time and in tune does not create the song, but it allows you to experience the harmony. Responding with prophetic numbers is like picking up your instrument and playing your part in heaven's score. Another way to see it is like planting a flag on a mountain. The mountain already belongs to God. The view has always been there. But planting the flag marks your claim, your agreement, your yes. The act does not make the mountain exist. It simply declares, I stand here. I belong here. This promise is mine. All chosen one. Prophetic responses also serve as memorials. When Israel crossed the Jordan, God instructed them to take 12 stones and set them up as a reminder of what he had done. Every time they or their children looked at those stones, they remembered the miracle. In the same way, every number you write, every word you declare, becomes a stone of remembrance. Later, when doubt creeps in, you can look back and say, I marked my faith in that moment, and heaven honored it. This is why you feel stirred when asked to respond. It is not manipulation, it is memory. It is alignment. It is sealing what you have heard. The enemy hates when you confess, because confession removes secrecy. He also hates when you respond, because response builds faith. Silence can leave the word fragile in your heart, but response makes it concrete. Think also of the farmer. He does not only receive rain, he plants seed into the soil as a sign of faith. The seed itself is small, but it testifies, I believe a harvest is coming. Prophetic responses are like seeds. They may look small, but they declare your readiness for the rain. So do not dismiss the mystery of these numbers and responses. They are not random, nor empty. They are small keys that open great doors, signs that confirm you are aligned with the flow of heaven. Chosen one. Your responses matter because you matter. Heaven sees your faith not just in silent belief, but in visible action. Every number you write, every phrase you declare, is recorded as a testimony of trust, and trust is always answered. So let your spirit rest in this. Prophetic numbers are not superstition. They are participation. They are the language of alignment, the sound of agreement, the rhythm of heaven echoed in your life. And remember, chosen one, each prophetic response you release is like striking a note that reverberates in eternity. It may seem small in your hands, but in God's hands it becomes a chord of harmony, echoing through unseen realms, announcing that you are aligned with His perfect will. Chosen one. Something powerful happens when individuals step into faith together. A single spark can light a flame, but when sparks gather, they become a fire that cannot be contained. The same is true in the Spirit. What one person carries is mighty, but when many stand together in unity, the atmosphere shifts. Community is not a luxury. It is part of the design of heaven. You were never meant to carry the weight of destiny alone. Even Moses needed Aaron to hold up his hands when the battle grew heavy. Even Jesus walked with disciples, sharing his journey with those who would later carry his message. The truth is simple: your calling is personal, but it is not private. When heaven prepares a transfer, it often moves through community. Blessings flow further when shared. Encouragement multiplies when spoken aloud, and resistance is broken faster when voices rise together. You have already felt it in moments when someone else's testimony reignited your own faith. That is the power of collective alignment. The writings in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verses 9 and 10 remind us, two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Chosen one. This is why your response today matters. It is not only for you, it is for those who are walking beside you in this unseen family of faith. When you declare, others see your courage, and their courage rises too. When you write, others read and realize, I am not alone. Oh, and so I call you to mark this moment by writing these numbers: 444. Why 444? Because it symbolizes stability, foundation, and covenant strength. It is the picture of walls standing firm, of foundations not shaken, of God Himself building a house where His presence dwells. When you comment 444, you are declaring, I am part of this foundation. I choose to stand with others. I will not walk alone. Think of it like bricks forming a wall. One brick by itself is strong, but vulnerably. But when many bricks are placed together, joined by mortar, they create a structure that endures storms. Each 444 is another brick in this wall of chosen ones. Together, you form a fortress that darkness cannot penetrate. Or pictura choir. One voice can sing beautifully, but when voices unite in harmony, the sound shakes the very ground. 444 is the sound of unity. A chorus rising, declaring stability and strength for this community of faith. Chosen one. Understand this: the transfer is not meant to make you isolated in blessing. It is meant to establish a people, a community, a movement. When you join by marking 444, you are not just declaring for yourself. You are weaving your thread into a tapestry that heaven is displaying to the world. There was once a woman who prayed alone for years, carrying burdens that nearly crushed her. But the day she joined with others, everything changed. Their prayers lifted her when her strength was gone. Their voices carried her when hers was silent. And when her breakthrough came, it overflowed into them as well. That is the beauty of community. Victories are multiplied. Chosen one. Do not underestimate your role. You may think your comment is small, your voice too quiet, your contribution unseen, but heaven notices, and others notice. The wall is not complete without your brick. The choir is not whole without your voice. The fire is not as strong without your spark. So let 444 be your declaration. Not only, I believe, but also, I belong. Not only, I stand, but also, I stand with you. In the days ahead. As September 28 approaches, you will feel the strength of this unseen community. You will realize that though you prayed alone in your room, you were never truly alone. Though you cried silent tears, you were surrounded by a chorus of chosen ones echoing the same cry. And together, Your cries became a roar that shook the heavens. This is the power of community. This is the reason for your response. And this is why today, heaven invites you to join your voice, your faith, your number, in alignment with others who walk the same path. Chosen one. Let it be clear, the transfer is not only for you, it is for all who align. And together, you will rise. Together, you will stand. Together, you will receive. Comment it boldly. Declare it freely. 444. Stability. Foundation. Covenant strength. Your number. Your moment. Your place in this community of chosen ones. Chosen one. There comes a moment when the unseen becomes seen. When what was whispered in the dark is shouted from the rooftops. That moment is called arrival. The transfer you have been anticipating, preparing for. Praying over its signs of arrival will not be vague. They will be clear, precise, and undeniable. Like dawn breaking after the longest night, arrival does not always shout with trumpets. Often, it begins quietly. A sudden peace that settles over your spirit even when circumstances remain chaotic. A sense that the weight on your shoulders has lifted, though nothing in the natural world seems to explain it. These are not tricks of the mind, they are confirmations of the spirit. Peace is often the first sign of arrival. Think of Elijah on Mount Carmel. The fire fell. The people bowed. But before all of that, there was a sound. It was not thunder. It was the faint whisper of rain coming. That whisper was enough to send him running in expectation. In the same way, you will hear whispers before you see flames. The signs may seem small, but they carry great weight. Another sign of arrival is unusual. Favor. Doors that were long shut suddenly creak open. Conversations you never expected begin to shift in your favor. Opportunities find you rather than you chasing them. It may start with something small, a message, a meeting, a simple yes where there was always no. Do not dismiss these moments. They are tokens that the transfer is already in motion. Scripture reminds us in the book of Psalms, chapter 5, verse 12, "Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor, as with a shield." Chosen one. When the transfer arrives, favor surrounds you. It is not selective or fragile. It is encompassing like a shield. Even your enemies might notice it. Baffled at why resistance suddenly crumbles before you. That is the mark of arrival. Provision is also a sign. Sometimes it appears in surprising ways: a debt cancelled, a need met unexpectedly, a door opening for resources you once lacked. Remember the Israelites. When manna fell from heaven, it was not just food. It was proof that God was with them. Your provision is more than supply. It is a signature of presence. But the most profound sign of arrival is inner transformation. When the transfer comes, it is not just about what is placed in your hands, but what shifts in your heart. The fears that once bound you no longer hold weight. The doubts that plagued your mind lose their voice. You begin to carry yourself differently, not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence. That shift is proof that heaven has deposited something within you no one can take. Consider the image of a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. To the outside world, it looks fragile, but within its wings is strength forged by struggle. The arrival is not simply that the butterfly can fly, it is that the struggle has become beauty. Your arrival will look like that beauty birthed from pressure. Wings strengthened through waiting. Chosen one. Another subtle sign will be recognition. People who once overlooked you will begin to notice something they cannot explain. They may not understand it, but they will sense it. The atmosphere around you will shift because what you carry cannot remain hidden. Light does not ask permission to shine, it simply does. Do not be surprised if your emotions feel unusual during arrival. Sometimes joy floods suddenly. Other times, tears flow without warning. Both are natural. They are your spirit's way of processing the weight of answered prayers. Do not resist it. Let yourself feel the fullness of it. And finally, you will know arrival because of peace in decision-making. Choices that once confused, you will become clear. Directions that once seemed clouded will shine with clarity. This is not coincidence, it is confirmation. When heaven moves, it aligns not only circumstances, but also your perception. Chosen one. The signs of arrival are both subtle and strong. They are whispers and wonders, peace and provision, favor and transformation. Pay attention to them. They are heaven's way of saying, the waiting is over. The promise is here. End zero. So when you notice these shifts, when peace fills your heart, when doors open, when provision surprises, when your spirit feels lighter, do not dismiss them. They are not accidents. They are signs. The transfer has arrived. And when you see these signs, let gratitude rise in you. Gratitude is the language of those who recognize heaven's fingerprints. Each small shift is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. Each blessing is not random, it is intentional. Chosen one. Your eyes now see what your faith has long carried within. Chosen one. When the transfer arrives, the question that follows is this: how will you steward what you have been given? A gift is only as powerful as the way it is cared for. Blessings are not meant to slip through your fingers like sand. They are meant to be planted, nurtured, and multiplied. Post-transfer stewardship is where promises transform into legacies. Consider Joseph. When the transfer lifted him from the prison into Pharaoh's palace, it was not the end of the story, it was the beginning of stewardship. 7 years of abundance required wisdom to preserve resources, not squander them. His management ensured survival for nations. The transfer gave him authority, but stewardship gave him impact. This is the same for you. What you receive is not only for your comfort, but also for your calling. Stewardship means asking, how can I honor God with this increase? How can I let this blessing bless others? It transforms your perspective from ownership to partnership, from possession to purpose. Scripture speaks to this in the first letter to the Corinthians. Chapter 4, verse 2. Now it is required that those who have been given a trust must prove faithful. Chosen one. Faithfulness is the measure of stewardship. Faithfulness does not always look dramatic. It looks like consistency in prayer, integrity in decisions, generosity in giving, and humility in success. It means protecting what is entrusted to you, not for fear of losing it, but for joy in multiplying it. Think of a garden. When rain finally falls after a long drought, the soil must not only drink it in, but also protect it, cultivate it, and allow it to bear fruit. If left unattended, weeds will creep in, and the blessing will be choked. But if the garden is tended, the harvest multiplies. Your life after the transfer is like that garden. How you tend it determines whether it becomes barren or abundant. Stewardship also means guarding against pride. When blessings come, it is easy to forget the seasons of waiting. Yet the same God who gave is the God who sustains. Humility keeps you anchored, reminding you that the gift was never earned by strength alone, but entrusted by grace. Humility ensures that the blessing becomes testimony, not temptation. Another aspect of stewardship is preparation for others. What you carry is not just for your generation, but for those who will come after you. Just as David stored resources for Solomon to build the temple, your stewardship lays foundations others will build upon. The way you manage blessings today will ripple into the future. Imagine a torchbearer running in a relay. The flame in his hand is not for him alone. His task is to carry it faithfully and pass it on burning bright. You are a torchbearer. The transfer placed the flame in your hands, but stewardship ensures it is passed on. Chosen one. Stewardship also involves discernment. Not every door that opens must be walked through, and not every opportunity is aligned with your calling. Abundance can bring distractions just as much as lack does. Wisdom is the guardrail that keeps your path steady. Ask yourself often, does this honor God's purpose for me? That question will save you from many detours. Do not underestimate the role of gratitude in stewardship. Gratitude keeps the heart soft and the eyes open. It reminds you daily that the blessing is not ordinary. Gratitude multiplies what it touches. The more you give thanks, the more you see how much you truly have. Stewardship after the transfer also includes resilience. With increase comes responsibility, and responsibility brings pressure. There will be moments when the weight feels heavy again. But remember, you were forged in the waiting season to handle this. The strength you gained before the transfer equips you to sustain after it. Chosen one. Let me speak plainly. The transfer is a gift, but stewardship is your response. One without the other is incomplete. The gift opens the door, stewardship builds the house. The gift provides seed, stewardship grows the harvest. The gift reveals purpose, stewardship establishes legacy. So hold this truth with reverence. The transfer is not the end, it is the beginning. You are now entrusted with more, not to be burdened, but to be blessed and to bless others. Chosen one. Walk wisely. Tend the garden. Guard the flame. Build for those who will come after you. And let your stewardship echo as loudly as your blessing, for this is how transfers become testimonies, and testimonies become legacies. And never forget, legacy is not measured by what you keep, but by what you release. The blessing entrusted to you becomes eternal when it outlives you. When it touches lives you may never meet. And when it glorifies God beyond your days. Chosen one. Warnings and mercy often walk hand in hand. Whenever heaven releases increase, there will be currents of resistance that try to pull you away. The transfer you have waited for is holy, but the days after it arrives can stir storms. Some will question your worthiness, some will envy your portion, and darkness will attempt to convince you that you are unprepared to carry what has been entrusted to you. But hear this truth: the same God who released the blessing is the God who sustains it. His mercy has not run out. Even when you stumble, mercy stands ready to lift you. Yet warnings remain, so you may walk with wisdom. Mercy is not a license to wander, it is an invitation to stand firm. The Apostle Paul wrote in Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Do not let weariness become your undoing. Do not let the whispers of envy or the storms of doubt push you away from the field of blessing. This harvest is yours, but it must be guarded." Chosen one. Warnings are like lighthouses. They do not exist to shame ships for sailing too close to danger. They exist to save them from wreckage. When heaven warns you, it is not because you are weak, but because you are precious. God shines his warnings as light across your path, so you do not crash against hidden rocks. Mercy, on the other hand, is the hand that reaches into the water when you do fall. It is the embrace that does not keep a ledger of wrongs, but welcomes you back, stronger than before. Warnings keep you safe. Mercy keeps you whole. Now, allow me to speak to your heart about something sacred. These words you are hearing are not just sentences strung together. They are like a river flowing across dry land. If they have refreshed you, if they have watered your spirit, then know this: when you like, share, and subscribe, you are not merely engaging a platform, you are releasing more streams into the desert. Every action becomes a channel, carrying water to someone else who has been parched. And if your heart feels stirred to go deeper, hear this gently. Donation is never demanded. It is never the price of the water. Your gift is like a cup of oil poured into a lamp. The lamp already burns. But with your oil, the flame grows brighter, reaching further into the night. Picture it another way. When you choose to give, it is like planting another tree in a barren field. You may not sit under its shade, but someone weary will rest there one day. And if you feel this word stirring in your heart, you may also choose to leave a mark in the comments. Write these simple words: "I walk steady." Why? Because it is more than a sentence. It is a stone on the path, a reminder to yourself and a testimony to others. When you write it, it is like carving your name on a lighthouse wall, declaring, "I was here, I saw the light, and I choose to keep walking in it." Chosen one. Guard against pride. Verbride blinds. Guard against fear, for fear paralyzes. Guard against bitterness, for bitterness poisons the soil of blessing. Yet also embrace mercy, for mercy restores. Embrace gratitude, for gratitude multiplies. Embrace humility, for humility sustains. These are the anchors that keep you steady when storms try to unsettle you. Imagine a great ship sailing with treasures stored deep within. The ship does not fear the sea because it has anchors strong enough to hold in the storm. You are that ship. The treasure has been placed inside you, but you must lower the anchors of wisdom and mercy to remain steady. Chosen one. Warnings without mercy would break you. Mercy without warnings would weaken you. But together, they strengthen you, shaping you into a vessel unshakable, unstoppable, and filled with light. So let this truth rest in your spirit. What has been given to you will not be stolen if you guard it with wisdom and walk in mercy. What has been placed in your hands will grow if you honor it with humility and gratitude. Like the streams that flow, like the lamps that burn, like the trees that grow, like the bridges that shine your choices, echo. They are never wasted. They become pathways for others, testimonies for generations, and seeds that mercy waters into harvest. Chosen one. There is a moment when everything shifts, when the crown that has long been promised is finally placed upon your head. The transfer is not only about resources or opportunities, it is about identity. You have been shaped in the shadows, tested in the wilderness, pressed in the fire, and refined in silence. Now the crown is activated. The crown does not change who you are. It reveals who you always were. For years, you carried the mantle of endurance, the burden of waiting, the ache of rejection. Yet beneath it all, there was always royalty in your spirit. Heaven's mark rested upon you even when earth refused to recognize it. The crown is simply the visible confirmation of an invisible truth. Consider Esther. For a season, she was hidden, living as an orphan in exile. But at the appointed time, she was elevated, crowned, and positioned to deliver her people. The crown on her head was not just jewelry, it was a signal that heaven had activated her destiny. In the same way, your life has carried hidden preparation, and now the activation of your crown means your hiddenness was never in vain. The Book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11 speaks clearly. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take your crown. This crown is not fragile gold. It is authority. It is not a trinket of decoration. It is a symbol of assignment. It speaks of victory, of identity, of destiny fulfilled. When the transfer activates your crown, you are no longer only surviving, you are reigning. Think of the crown as light breaking through stained glass. For years, the pieces looked fragmented, sharp, even broken. But when the light shines through, the fragments form a masterpiece. Your life has been that stained glass. Each shard of trial, each fragment of sorrow, has now become part of the design. The crown is the light that reveals the beauty of it all. Chosen one. The activation of your crown will also shift how others perceive you. Those who once mocked will marvel. Those who doubted will witness. But be careful, your crown is not for performance. It is for purpose. It is not to flaunt, but to fulfill. The crown comes with weight, and that weight is the responsibility of influence. Imagine a torch lit in the night. The torchbearer cannot hide the flame, nor can he claim it is only for his path. By carrying it, he illuminates the road for others. That is what your crown does. It makes you a torchbearer. Your light is not only for your own steps, but for the steps of those who follow. Chosen one. The activation of the crown also brings a deeper level of warfare. Crowns attract opposition because crowns symbolize rulership. Do not be surprised if attacks intensify. But remember, the crown is proof that you have already won. The enemy does not fight the defeated, he fights the enthroned. The fact that you feel resistance is confirmation that your crown is real. Stepping into this crown means walking in dignity. It means refusing to lower yourself to pettiness. It means responding with grace when others provoke. It means living in alignment with your assignment, no longer swayed by distractions that once consumed you. Picture a lion walking through the wilderness. The lion does not need to roar to prove its authority. Its presence is enough. That is the posture of one who wears the crown. You will not need to argue or defend yourself. Your presence, marked by heaven, will carry authority without explanation. Chosen one. The activation of your crown will not make you flawless, but it will make you fearless. It will not erase your scars, but it will turn them into symbols of victory. It will not silence the voices of doubt around you, but it will drown them out with the louder truth of destiny fulfilled. So hold your head high, not in arrogance, but in awareness. The crown does not make you above others. It makes you responsible for others. It reminds you that your life carries weight, that your choices echo, that your steps blaze trails. Chosen one, your crown is more than metal and jewels. It is fire. It is light. It is calling, and now it has been activated. Wear it with reverence. Carry it with strength. Guard it with wisdom. Let it remind you every day, you are chosen. You are crowned. You are commissioned. And never forget, crowns are not stored in glass cases, they are worn in battle. Yours is meant to shine in storms, to endure in trials, and to testify that destiny fulfilled is stronger than every shadow you survived. Chosen one. The transfer you have awaited is not a single moment to be celebrated and then forgotten. It is an invitation into a long game. Destiny is not secured in one day, nor does purpose unfold in one act. The crown placed upon your head is not the end of the journey, but the beginning of an enduring path. The long game is about sustaining. It is about building a life of faith that continues long after the excitement of the transfer has faded. You are not called to be a flickering spark. You are called to be an enduring flame. Sparks capture attention for a moment, but flames provide light and warmth for generations. Consider the Apostle Paul. He did not measure his life by one encounter or one miracle. Instead, he pressed forward continually, speaking of finishing the race, keeping the faith, and looking toward the crown of righteousness laid up for him. His strength was not in short bursts of glory, but in consistent endurance. The same is required of you. The letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 1, reminds us, "Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." Oh, this race is not a sprint, it is a marathon. It is not won by speed, but by endurance. The long game demands rhythm, discipline, and unwavering focus. Chosen one. Building the long game begins with daily disciplines. Prayer, not just in crises, but as breath. Worship, not only on mountaintops, but in valleys. Integrity, not only when eyes are on you, but in secret moments when only God sees. These are the quiet bricks that build unshakable foundations. Think of a great cathedral. Its arches and spires inspire awe, but the strength of the structure lies in stones laid patiently, one by one, hidden beneath the surface. No visitor praises the foundation, yet without it, the cathedral would crumble. Your long game is built the same way, layer by layer. Unseen, but essential. The long game also means learning to pace yourself. Burnout is a real threat when passion runs without rhythm. Fire must be fed steadily, not consumed recklessly. Your calling requires you not to exhaust yourself in one season, but to preserve strength for decades of impact. This is why rest is holy, why Sabbath is sacred. It is not weakness to pause, it is wisdom to renew. Chosen one. Your long game must also be rooted in vision. Vision sustains when excitement fades. Joseph held on to dreams through betrayal, prison, and years of waiting. That vision anchored him when circumstances contradicted his promise. Without vision, discipline feels empty. With vision, discipline feels purposeful. Picture a farmer tending a vineyard. The first year requires pruning. The second year, more pruning. And only in later years does the harvest appear. Without vision, the cutting feels cruel. With vision, the pruning feels necessary. Your long game demands the same patience to endure seasons of pruning because you see the harvest ahead. Community is another anchor for longevity. The lone ember burns out quickly, but embers gathered together keep one another glowing. Surround yourself with those who carry similar fire, those who remind you of your purpose when your memory fades. The long game is not played in isolation, but in fellowship. Chosen one. Perhaps the greatest danger to the long game is complacency. After the transfer, after the crown, after the victory, it is tempting to settle. Yet, destiny is never static. The moment you stop pressing forward, you risk drifting backward. This is why Paul said, "I press on. The crown you wear today is not the only one. Greater crowns await those who remain faithful until the end." Let me give you an image. Think of a river carving a canyon. It does not achieve this in a day or even in a year. Drop by drop, flow by flow, it shapes the land into something breathtaking. That is the power of persistence. That is the beauty of the long game. Chosen one. The transfer has marked you. The crown has sealed you. But the long game will define you. Walk in daily faithfulness. Guard your flame with wisdom. Anchor yourself in vision. Surround yourself with community. And press on with endurance. For your story is not a short tale, it is an epic. And heaven intends for your chapters to echo not only through your lifetime, but into generations yet unborn. And know this, chosen one, epics are remembered not for their beginnings alone, but for their endurance. Your faithfulness in the long game will ripple like waves, shaping shores you may never see, yet eternally bearing heaven's fingerprints. Chosen one, you have walked through every word, every image, every scripture, and you now stand at the edge of a completed journey. This was never random, it was written for you, prepared for you, designed so that you could recognize your place in the great story heaven is telling. The transfer, the crown, the long game, it all points to one truth. You are chosen, and your life carries weight far beyond what you see. And now, let me speak to your heart with sincerity. If these words have spoken life into you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Each action is like lighting another lantern along the path so that others wandering in the dark can find their way. Do more than receive. Leave your mark. Write in the comments, "I choose light." That short phrase is more than text. It is a memorial stone placed in the digital wilderness, a testimony that you encountered truth and chose to walk in it. And if your spirit feels stirred to give, hear this with gentleness. Donation is never demanded, it is invitation. It is like adding oil to a lamp that already burns, or planting another tree in the forest of hope. Your giving becomes part of the flame, part of the shelter, part of the bridge that others will cross into healing. Chosen one, whatever step you take, whether sharing, writing, or giving, know this, it is not about obligation, but about overflow. You are free, and your freedom is beautiful. So walk forward with your crown lifted, your heart steady, your light shining. The story continues, and heaven smiles at the choices you make today.